scheduling. So for sure, we will only be able to go through the PowerPoint today lecture for 8.2 and just rinse and repeat. So at least we're still extending the time as far as like being on track. So we will go over prop exercise 8.2 tomorrow. So we're going to do the lecture today and then we'll go over everything tomorrow. So so today we're going to be doing our exercise for 8.1, perpetual inventory. So if you guys vaguely remember, because I say vaguely, remember how FIFO works. So we understand that, right? We understand that if we're doing first in, first out, especially for inventory, right? We're going to look at the first batch that we received, and then we start from the top and make it all the way down to the bottom, right? Yes. We already understand that concept. However, now we're throwing in that every sale that we make, we need to constantly update our inventory and we need to take it out. Okay, so this is going to take a lot of brain power because every single entry that we put in, it's going to affect inventory at any given time and any given moment. Okay, so here, well, let's go ahead and dive into the example. And we're only focusing on FIFO for now. Once we get this hang of this, then LIFO should be more or less a little more easier. Okay? Because they're kind of the same thing. All right, so let's go ahead and start here on May 5th. Okay, so we recognize that we purchased 1,000 units at $3 $3 per item. $3 for each item on account, and freight is giving us a total cost of $100. So let's go ahead and fill in our worksheet here. So for this problem, I don't want you to focus on journalizing. I want you to just focus on practicing utilizing the worksheet. Okay. So here we need to go under which section? Are we doing cost of goods sold?
Date.
Yeah, we're doing
And
inventory.
then inventory on purchases.
Yes. So what was I? May 5th. I'm just gonna type in the days just because yeah, I don't want to utilize too much space. So May 5th. All right. And we're gonna go under purchases. So we purchased 1,000 items, and we knew it would cost us $3 each, and freight was $100.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
So
The total purchases is 3,000.
Good. $3,000.
3,100.
3,100 is total. And
3.1.
$3. Good. $3.10. That should be correct. Okay, so now what I mean by introducing you to this section here is when we make purchases, what do we do with it? How do we record making our purchase? You put it straight into inventory, and that is exactly what we're going to do right here. So here, I'm going to indicate that I had 1,000 items, okay, and I know that it's going to cost me $3.10 each to sell, and I know that the grand total it's going to give me is going to be obviously the 1,000 multiply the 3.1, and you're going to get $3,100. Okay, so again, this is definitely more for when we go into working with Excel. How this formula will be so much easier because every time we take a section out, you're actually going to go back in here and you're going to change this number, and it's going to give you the exact number that you need to have. Okay, so because this came out even, it's $3.10. So therefore, each item that we sell is going to be $3.10. Now, what you can do is here, you can highlight this and make it a color so you know that when we start taking stuff out, when we start selling stuff, that we need to take from batch 1. Okay, and that when we do this part, we can at least recognize what color we're using. So that is one way you can do it. I will do it just so you guys can follow along and see how easy it is to follow along when you're dealing with this kind of inventory.
Cool, now you go sort by crayons.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this. I'm gonna make this one. I'm gonna go ahead and use a fun color. Let's make it this one green. All right, I made my first batch green. Okay.
Is the total correct? Or is there an extra zero?
I think there is an extra zero. Yeah, I typed in 31,000. Thank you for that. So 3,100. So say one.
You can be
Yes.
my baker.
Good.
You can be my baker.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I see doubles, right?
Oh.
I have double vision, so I have to look at it a few times to make sure.
Okay. No. I did accidentally type in another zero. So you're fine. Thank you. All right. Okay, so here we finished our first batch right here. We got our first batch in, so we're done with the 5th of May. All right. What happened next?
On the 7th of May, you sold 550.
You sold 550 units at how much?
$10.
$10 each for cash, right? No sales tax.
Right.
All right, so if I sold 550 items, what do I need to put in here?
Cost of goods.
5,500.
Hold on. So we're gonna okay. Now let me. What's first? I need to write the date first.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the May 7th.
5/7. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Which section are we actually going into first?
The left
Cost
section.
of goods.
Cost of goods sold. So how many items did I actually sell?
550.
550 items. Okay.
At
Now-
$10 each.
At how much?
$10
10.
each.
Okay. Now, let's look back at here. Okay. Here, I sold it for a price of $10. This is my selling
Yes.
price.
Mhm.
When we're dealing with cost of goods sold, are we including our profit as well, or are we going to what number are we going to multiply? How much?
Multiply the cost of the goods.
Exactly.
$3.10.
There you go. Exactly. So this is probably where most of you went wrong, is you guys accidentally put your selling price instead of the actual cost price that it took you to sell the item.
Oh, you do it at the
That could be
310.
why I got all negative.
Exactly.
Oh.
That was my that's what I made to the assumption is you probably used the $10 here, so you got a large number, and when you subtract it out here,
Yes.
you're getting negative.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So remember, selling price is going to be different from what we actually sell it. So remember, every time you're dealing with inventory here and you're taking it away from inventory, you need to remember that you need to use what it costs you to sell that item. So in this case, just the way it's sold, just the way it's named after, cost of goods sold, you're going to use the price that it costs you in order to sell that item. So in this case, we already know right here that it costs us $3.10.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's 1705.
Right.
Did you get everyone got 1705? So go ahead and calculate that. 1705, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The other way around, I got 5,500. So.
Yeah, well, it's still the
That's
5,500
because
for
you're
quality.
using the
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah. Well, that's why everything went negative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's-
yeah, right.
Okay. Now you can. What a lot of students thought of this was they said it was so much easier if I didn't explain it here. To what like subtracting out this 550. Now I only do that so that you know you know how much stuff that you have at the end of the day. Now what you can do is you could completely skip this part and just go dive in right here and just change this number to 550, and then if you're in Excel, it will automatically calculate it for you. But in this case, because we're in the beginning stages of this, I want to
Yeah.
show you so you guys can know exactly what is going on. So this is where I go ahead and let you know that I sold 550 items. So therefore, I should get a total of 450 remaining. Okay?
Yes.
And then I will highlight this and I will indicate that this is green because this is in regards to my very first batch. Okay? So here I indicated in green already. All right?
Okay.
Because I sold 555 units, from there I know that it's going to cost me 1705 to get rid of those 500 and to get rid of those 550 items. Now what I'm going to do is what's going to happen is I'm going to subtract these two numbers to get me how much 450 items is going to cost me. So
Did you say you're gonna subtract it?
that's correct. Because if you're right here, if you have 1,000 items and you sell 550, how much remaining do you have?
$13.95.
Okay, here, same thing. You're going to apply the same concept. You originally have the total amount of goods available you have is 3,100. If you sold 1,705, how much remaining are you going to have?
1,395.
And that is correct, $1,395. And what you can do is, so this is why I calculate it here, because if I'm using regular Word instead of an Excel sheet, I can go ahead and transfer all that information right in here right away. So I know that I have 450. It's still going to cost me $3.10. And I am going to recognize that I have $13.95 left. Okay?
I have to redo this whole shit.
No worries, no worries, no worries. What I tell my students is I cross it out completely because you can do whatever you want. This is your worksheet. This isn't something that that your public audience are going to actually see. So you can do the calculation, you can do whatever with this worksheet, right? It's your own personal scratch sheet. So what happens, you can cross it out and just transfer it over into here right away. And I'll show you what I mean when we do moving average because it will make so much more sense when we do moving average. Okay? But for this case, I eliminated 550. So I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to say right here that I have 450, which is my remaining. And it's going to be for the amount of $13.95. So here, that is it for this one.
Okay. You're gonna upload this exam to erase everything off my sheet.
Just print off a new one.
Yes. So I mean, Andrea, this is what I do. This is what I tell my students too. What I do is I tell them, okay, you know what? Why don't you take this one and I want you to black it out. I want you to cross it out completely. Okay? All right. Now, once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and indicate it here. So right here, I've already calculated everything for you. I'm just going to transfer it right across and put it in this window right here for 310, and it's going to cost me $13.95. Now, obviously, I'm not going to have this. This is going to be blacked out, obviously, so I'm not going to see it at all. But here, once I indicate this, I'm going to highlight this this thing, and I'm going to make it in green because that's my indicator that this is batch number 1. So that's what you can do. You could just go straight across and say, I no longer have 1,000. So this is what originally 1,000. I no longer have 1,000. I have just this amount right here. And this is all going to be blacked out. So that's what you can do if that's what you want to do. Okay, just to make it easier for you, you could just scratch it out here and just every time we make a sale, you're going to update it. You're just going to put it right across in. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and undo all that real quick. Oops, I undo way too much. Okay, so here is what, $13.95? Oh, and undo. There you go. Okay, so I have $13.95 remaining left from my first batch. Okay.
Yes.
All right. What happened next?
You
On
purchased
May
850.
Uh huh.
Yeah, May 10th.
Okay.
You purchased 850
Okay. For set and $75
at
freight.
325.
Okay, so I'm gonna go down here.
Yes.
My date is for oh wait, not April, May 10.
May 10th.
I got 850 more items and it cost me $3.25 and my freight is $75. Okay, so now that I have that indicated, great. Now I need to just solve for the rest. So, how much is 850 items going to cost? What's my total purchase price?
Total purchase price
Um,
is,
27, 62.50.
That has got 20. Yep. Go ahead, Andrea.
27, 62.50.
I have 2837.50.
Okay, so again, let's.
Oh, that's the total cost, including the freight.
Yeah, that's total cost. Yeah, we're just only doing total purchases.
So 2762.50 is what I've got.
Yeah, that's total purchases.
Right, the purchase.
Yes.
Oh,
The
the
freight
cost,
added.
right, I'm still looking at the cost, yeah, right,
So
27,
plus 75 freight
uh-huh,
gets you 2837.50.
right,
28,370.
50.
Okay,
Perfect.
we divide that by the quantity of 850 and we get 3.338
Okay, so hold on.
for
Let me see.
$3.34.
34 cents, right. Mhm.
So you're gonna get 3.3382. Okay, so I'm going to leave that number because I want to ensure that when I cost my goods sold that it is accurate. Okay. Now you can round off right now. That is clearly up to you, but if you do round starting now, that means every single time you do this you have to round it off.
Yeah, that will really throw it off. I think you're right to leave it the way it is to be more accurate.
Exactly. So here I have this right here and I'm going to indicate it right here, right below it. So I know that this is batch number 1. So this is batch number 2. I have 850 items and it's going to cost me $3.3382 and it should give me a grand total of 2837.50. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. And I'm going to change the color so I can indicate this is my second batch. Okay? Oh, hold on. Shoot. I'm highlighting too much. Okay, anybody pick a color. Any color except for yellow. Red, okay. All right.
Oh, Christmas.
I know. Can everyone see that? I'm not quite sure. Sometimes red distorts black. I don't know if you know that. All right. I should go for a lighter color, but no, that's fine. As long as you guys can make the difference between each batch.
Should we highlight the under the purchases also?
You can, but then again, again, we're going to be dealing with FIFO, so we're not going to be, when we get there, we'll get there. You don't have to. It's preference if you want to, just so then you keep track of it. But in this case, when we actually cost our goods sold, yes, that's when you want to make sure you keep track of which batch that you're actually taking out of.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So then what happened?
On 12 May, you sold 300 units.
360.
60. I'm sorry,
360. $10 each, cash, no sales tax.
600.
Yes, no, 360.
Mhm.
So for was it May 12th?
12 May.
So 12th of May. Okay, we indicated that we sold how much? 360. Okay, so Now, because we are dealing with FIFO, okay, we forgot to write it up here.
Yes.
FIFO. We're only doing FIFO. Okay. My inventory items, I don't know.
Times
Okay. Now let's.
10.
So we're gonna look at here. So we have this the first batch. Yes, we're gonna take the first batch and it's 310, and we actually have enough for that. So there you go, $3.10, and let's go ahead and calculate how much that is.
It's $1,116.
Hold on.
1116.
Oh, hold on. Okay, yes. So we got a grand total of $1,116. Okay. All right. Now it's up to you what you want to do. You can either just go straight right here and just take it out. But again, for this case, because we are still in beginner mode, I want to make sure that you understand what I'm doing. So here I'm going to subtract 360. Okay. Now 360 is going to come directly out of the 450. So I should have 90 units left if I did my calculations correct.
Correct.
Okay, so I have 90 units left. Because this belongs to batch number 1, I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to indicate it that this is from the first batch, which is batch that is green.
Yes.
Ooh, I think I used the wrong color green.
That looks like a pea green.
Okay, so we used the dark green. Okay, oopsies. Oh my god. Okay, so let's start again. We're going to highlight from the 90 all the way here, and we're going to indicate it as the dark green. Okay, so there you go. So we know that this is batch. It's still yellow. What is this? Okay, again. Oh, okay. I see what I did. I accidentally changed the font. Okay, so again, we're going to highlight from 90. And we're going to change it to a dark green. Okay, I see what I did. I hit the wrong, okay, so we're going to change it to a dark green. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, so here, because we sold 360 items, and it cost us a total of $1,116. So, for just doing that, how much is going to be the price?
Should be $279.
All right. Can I get a second verification for that?
Yes.
Yeah,
But
yes.
I just multiplied 90 by the 310.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Because
so
that's the cost, right? The unit cost.
that is correct, but you want to be very careful about that because when we're subtracting, you might forget a penny because like this
Oh,
number
maybe
here.
with it.
Yeah.
with-
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so with this one, we need to make sure that we subtract out everything because this is where we round our number is right here. Because you can't put in when you cost of goods sold, it has to be rounded to the nearest penny. So
Okay.
yeah, so in
1,721.50.
Yeah, that's the correct figure. No, because we're using the other. No, that's the batch number 2.
yes, we're doing
David.
$13.95 and we're subtracting 1,116. Okay, so remember, I'm indicating it with the green color, so make sure you keep track of it. Maybe you're right. If it helps you to keep track of it, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this as red too. So then when we move it into our inventory, we can keep track of it a lot more easier. So here, I will indicate it as red. So that's our second batch that we put in. Okay.
See, David did the same thing I did, which was using the second batch, the red batch.
Mm-hmm.
But really, we should take 1395 minus 1616 and get 279.
Yes. hold on. For
So we're working on the first batch.
1395, and we're subtracting 1116. You should get, yeah, two. Yes, that's, I know, hold on, I don't know why I erased that. So 279 is correct. Okay, and what you can do is you can, for any reasons, you can just transfer it right over here. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and fix it up here, because I know from my calculations, which I have it right there, it will stay the same. So I have 90 here. It's going to cost me 310, and my remaining for that is going to be 279. $279. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now let's go ahead and look up of here. What happened next? Oh, excuse me.
I'm sorry. May 5th, you sold 600 more units
Okay, May
at
15.
$10 cash. Yeah.
We sold another
15.
600 units. So let's go ahead and go down here. So as you can see, if we look at our inventory, we have 90 and we have 850. So we definitely have enough to sell those 600 units. So here I'm going to indicate May 15. How many did we sell? We sold 600. Okay? Now, stop here. Is our first batch enough to sell 600?
No.
No, but there's 90 left.
Exactly. So now we got to pause here. We got to do 90. And then we got to do something to indicate, because our total amount that we want to get is 600. Okay?
Right.
So here I'm going to indicate that this is going to be an equation, and I am going to stick with yellow for my equation. Okay? So next batch that we look at, we cannot use yellow. Okay? So here I'm going to indicate that all my calculations are going to be yellow. So what is 600 minus 90?
510.
That is correct. And so now that we have two separate ones, okay, now because we already know what 90 is going to cost us, okay, it's going to cost us from our first batch, which is $3.10. Now we don't need to actually calculate it. We already know that 90 units is going to be $279 right off the bat. No
Right.
calculation needed there. However, our second batch is we're going to be taking it out of this number right here. So we actually no longer have this 90. Okay? And what's going to happen is I'm going to make sure that I indicate it in here first before I calculate the rest. I'm going to indicate I don't have 90 anymore. So that means my green batch is going to be 0.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and find that dark green. That means it's 0. And here I subtracted 279. Therefore, my total amount is going to be 0. Okay? And that means I'm going to go up here and I'm going to zero this completely out. It's going to be 0, and this amount is going to be 0. Okay? So in other words, if you think about it, you're going to be working from the left side across to the right side. So everything you do is going to be, you either start in the middle, go to the right. Start on the left, go all the way to the right. So it's going to be the same kind of motion over and over again. Whether you're dealing with either you're selling an item or you're purchasing an item, you have to go all the way through to the right. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So here
It is.
we cleared it out to the right side. Now we can go ahead and indicate this one. So if we know that the 510 of those, right, it's going to cost me $3.3382 cents. Okay, so can anybody tell me what that number is without rounding?
$1,702. 482 cents.
482 cents. Okay, hold on. So
So $1,702. 0.482.
510, right? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Hold on.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I did a little typo.
$1,702 and 482.482.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just making sure because we are actually rounding this number down to the 4 decimals. I want to make sure that we get every single penny. So I'm just recalculating the 2,837.50, and I'm going to redivide that by my 850 to give me the most accurate number. And then I'm going to multiply that by 510. And I get, yes, so I get 1702. And did you say 50? That's it?
Okay, you are rounding it up now.
0.82 or 482.
What did you
Yeah,
say? What
I
was
got
your?
40. If we were to round it, I get 48 cents.
Okay,
Yes.
because you rounded this one. The number that's actually after the 2, I believe, is a 3 and then a 8 and then a 5. Okay, so
Oh,
yeah.
well, okay.
Yeah, this is why like paper is so much harder to get a rounded number.
Okay,
That's
so where did you round it? Because I rounded it after I multiplied 510 by 3.3382.
so let me see. 510 multiply that 3 by 33382.
82.
Yes, so you
Just like with
are
the present.
you are going to get a rounded number for 58.2. So I mean 482 is your cents, right?
Right, so then if we round it down, it would be 48 cents, which throws me off
Yes. If
from what you got.
okay, so what I did was I took the 2,837.50, right? That's the original cost for it, right? I went ahead and divide that by 850 to get me that huge mumbo jumbo. So I got 3.33823.529, right? I get that big huge mumbo jumbo. Because I
Okay.
didn't round, I took this number. So when we move on to Excel, when you calculate it, it's gonna keep that number, that whole mumbo jumbo. I took that
Okay.
number and I multiplied it by the 510, and that's where I get the bigger conclusion that I got 1702.50. Now, for the sake of this class, I will be okay if you just try to round to the nearest penny, which in this case it's off by 2 cents. I'm okay with that because we tried our best to get as much as we can. So for this case, we'll just round off to the 4 pennies, okay? And we'll keep it that
Okay,
way.
so what you did is you kept the entire
I kept the
number.
entire number. That is correct.
Okay, so that's why you had 2 cents more.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, okay, just so I understand where you got that.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So again, because we are working on a regular word and we don't have the capability to be able to punch in all those extra numbers, like really, our fingers can make a mistake any point from there too. But so for this case, I will be okay if we just round to the nearest thousandth of a penny. And in this case, we get 1702.48. All right. Now you can add these two numbers up to get you your total cost of goods sold.
Okay, so 279 plus 1702.48, right?
Correct.
1981.48.
1981.48. That's correct. Okay, so that's my total cost of goods sold because I sold a total of 600. Now you can write it in your journal as separate because of the cost, but you're just triple entering yourself. You're basically indicating the same kind of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll come out the same.
It will come out the same exactly. So once you've done that, now you need to indicate, okay, so I just got rid of 510. So if I take 850 and I subtract 510 from there, I should get what?
340 left.
340. That's correct. And I'm going to indicate this as my red batch, which is my second batch. Okay, so red, this one. Okay, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to subtract my 1702, 48, and what do I get? So you make sure that you're indicating it from the 237.50.
Okay, so $2,837.50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, minus on the
1702.48.
red at 1702 should be 50, right?
What is 50?
Or are we using 48 cents?
48 cents.
Okay.
1,135.02.
1,135 and 02. Okay.
Okay, that's what I got.
0.02.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Once we have this number, you're gonna go ahead and go here and change it as well over here. So instead of 850, we now have 340. And then for this, we no longer have this mumbo jumbo. We have 1135 and 2 cents. Oopsies, 1135.02. Okay. All right. So we're good here now. Okay. Let me see if we're good on time. We did start late, so I'm gonna go ahead and push through.
Okay.
All right. All right. Any questions so far? We're doing good. So this is what's gonna happen. Now we've dove into our second batch. Okay. So let's see what happened next on the 20th of May.
20th May, you purchased 300 more units.
At 350.
350 on account.
Okay. All right. So May 20th. Okay. I purchased how much more? 200, 300 or 200? Let me see. I purchased 300 more units. Okay. 300 more units and it cost me $3.50 and my freight was $20. All right. So how do we calculate? So let's go. What's the purchase price?
Okay.
$3.50 times 300 is
1,000.
1,050?
1,050.
Correct. 1,050. All right. If we add $20, it's going to be 2070. All right. Then we're going to divide this by how much?
By 300.
And we're going to get what? Ooh.
3.57.
Okay. 3.56667. Okay. Ooh, I'm just going to go round. Yeah. 4 numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Luckily.
It could go on for a while.
Yes, it will go on for a while. Okay. So now that we have our third batch, I'm going to color this and I think I'm going to make it
Gold.
no, because we already have yellow. So we'll make it a
Let's do
nice
blue.
Let's make it a blue.
Okay, blue.
Let's do sky blue. Okay. Wow, that is so bright. All right. Now that we indicated it here, we're going to indicate it here as well because now we have a third batch. So we need to recognize that we have 300 here and it's going to cost us $3.5667. And for the total, it's going to be 1070. Okay? Again, we're going to highlight this and make sure that we recognize this is batch number 3. So, boom. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me see if I have enough space. Oh, I have plenty of space. Okay. So let's look at what happened next.
On the 22nd,
On 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
we sold 450 units at $10.25 each.
Okay. We sold an additional 450 units. Now let's go check and see if we actually have enough. And here we just bought 300. We have 340 from beginning. So yes, we have definitely have enough to cover for 450 or 440. 450. Okay, hold on. Let's see what date we had it on. 22nd of May. So here I'm going to indicate right here 22nd of May, and we sold 450 units. Now, let's look at our batches again. Does the second batch, the red batch, have enough to cover 450?
No.
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 340 of it.
Exactly. So 340, and now we need to indicate that we need a total of 450. So how much do we need left from the remaining batch to get to
110.
That's correct. And I'm going to indicate this in yellow so you know that this is a calculation. So let me go ahead and indicate that in yellow. All right. So here we know from this red line right here, we don't need to calculate how much this is. We already know just from that we're going to get rid of all of it. So right here we're just going to indicate 11.35 and 2 cents. Just right off there. We don't need to calculate that. We already know that we're getting rid of that entire batch, so we don't need to calculate that. Then, okay, so now we're going to follow the trail again. We are getting rid of the 340, and that's going to give us 0. And we're going to get rid of 1135.02, and that's going to give us 0. So here, my second batch of red is going to be gone. And then we come up here and we're going to erase everything that we have here. Gone.
Can we just put a line through it?
Yes, you can put a line through it if you like. You can put a line through it if it's easier for you. I would have to use what do you call it? The draw tool to just draw a line through it. But in this case, you could just indicate it like that. That's fine. Okay. So here we finally got rid of our second batch. Now we need to calculate our the third batch. We're taking it from the blue batch here, okay? So how much does it cost to sell one blue batched item?
3.5667.
Okay, and then because we're just going to assume that we're going to round to the thousandth of a penny, how much is that going to give us?
Okay, times 110. That should be $392.34.
34. Okay, good. All right. Now let's go ahead and calculate that. So 392.34 plus our 1,035.48, and we're gonna get how much there. So we're adding up these totals, so we know. So what's 1135.02 plus our $392.34. What do we get?
$1,527.36.
Okay, hold on.
That's what I got.
$1,527.36.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. All right. Now I'm going to subtract out my 110. Okay, so what is 300 minus 110?
300 minus 110.
Mm-hmm.
190.
We're gonna get
190.
190. Yes, and this is going to be batch, and it's
The
going
full.
to be my sky blue. Yes. So that's gonna be minus 392.34.
Well, that's completely off because my first run doesn't look anything like this.
Yeah, so again,
Yeah, totally different to the way I was
Yeah.
calculating it. I shouldn't have wrote all this down first because this confused me because I had other things written down.
no
But that's
worries.
good.
No, my negative number didn't give me a headache like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still a lot
I
of
don't know how I got
work
to the right
though.
number after seeing all
Yeah.
this.
It's still a lot of calculations and a lot of work, and we're almost done. So let's just finish this up, and then we can comment afterwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish
Okay.
this up. So what is 1070 minus the 392.34?
I got 677.66.
Perfect. 66 cents. Okay, so here
Yes.
we're also going to clear this out. And we're going to change this to 190. And we're going to change this to
677.66. Okay.
67766.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Okay, good. All right, I think we have a couple more stuff, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll resume the second part, and then we'll go on, moving on to looking at chapter 8.2 real quick. Okay, so
Oh,
here,
May
May
Question.
25th.
I
Yes.
do have one question.
Yes.
You are recording this, right?
correct.
Okay, good.
Actually,
May 20.
let's double confirm this. Yes.
Okay. Good,
Okay.
good, because I got thrown off completely because I calculated things different than this.
Exactly. You used the
So I
selling
need to go
price
back
instead
over.
of exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I should have waited before I filled all this in.
No worries. No, that's what I like. That I like that you guys are taking the initiative to try it on your own first and then ask questions afterwards, because then again, we're producing the answers a lot quicker because calculations have already been done. So no. Don't apologize. Don't think about that. But I'm glad that you're trying to understand it. So that's the golden
It's
key.
interesting, that's for sure.
All right, so we got two more transactions apparently from here, because the last one is just giving us a ending balance here. So
Okay.
on May 25th, what happened?
It was a purchase
You
of
purchased 650 more units.
Yes, for $375, and we had $50 free. So
Yes.
here I'm gonna
So-
find my blue, make sure I don't run my line through it, and it's going to be for 525. Okay, we're skipping our cost of goods sold because we're focusing on purchasing. So we purchased how much? 650
Yes.
at $3.75, and our freight was $50.
And the purchase price is 2437.50.
2437.50.
Oh,
Did we-
okay.
2487.50.
Oh, that's because you already add the freight.
Hold on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. 2437.50. I added the $50. Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Oh,
racing
that's the next
ahead of
price.
us.
Yes. So then now it's 2450. Yeah, 87.50. Okay, good. And then how much is it cost per item.
$3.83.
$3.83.
Oh,
We're not going
you're
to,
doing,
we
yeah,
can't
you're
round
not doing
it
it,
yet.
right,
Yeah.
you're not rounding it. That's
Yeah.
what's throwing me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
3.8269.
three
You
point
wanted
eight.
four digits, right?
Yes,
Okay, 3.8269.
perfect. Okay, and then now we need to choose a nice color for this one. I'm already run out of options, so I'm gonna go for purple.
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 Yes,
Purple.
purple. Let's do a light purple because yeah, too dark is we're not gonna be able to see the numbers. Okay, so here purple. Can you tell the difference between the purple and the blue?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very faint, but it's there.
Oh, yeah, it is faint. It is very faint.
Yes. Okay, so this is 650 going at $3.8269, and then our total cost for that is going to be $3,487.50. Okay, so again, I'm gonna highlight this. Maybe I should have done like orange or something. Orange would be very, very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
We could pick that up in the next color.
Yeah, or there's another purple on the bottom that's brighter. Since
Okay.
you're into bright colors.
This one,
On the bottom to the right, all the way to the right.
this one.
Yeah,
Okay, is that okay for everyone to see?
that's
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't want the purple to be just too dark because I want to make sure
Right.
that the numbers show up. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, it's not showing it very well, though.
Yeah.
It's not. You can't see it. Okay.
No,
I
not
can see
very
it.
well. You can see it.
It's like you said, it's not real identifiable, but you do have to pay attention a little bit.
Yes. Okay. So actually no, I'm gonna change it to orange just so then it's actually more visible. And trust me when I say orange is visible, it will be incredibly visible.
Very,
Okay,
very
yeah,
good.
that's better. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
much
that's
better.
real good.
Much
Okay,
better.
hold on. I highlighted way too much. But yes, let's choose orange because orange is going to make it really visible. So here you go. Orange for your taste. There you
Good,
go.
good.
Okay.
Okay? And you can tell the difference because we're done with red. So we're not going to be utilizing red. Or, we're done with red, so they're never going to clash with each other. So here, orange. Perfect. Okay? All right, so good. Now that we've indicated that, okay, so what happened next? What's our last thing that we did?
No,
You sold 27 May. You
Mhm.
sold 740 units.
Correct. Okay, 740. Now let's look at our batch. Do we even have 740?
No.
No.
well, if we
Yes.
add the two remaining batches,
Mm-hmm.
we do have
190 plus 650, and that's 840.
That is 840. So yes, we
leaving us,
definitely
discussed. Good.
leaving our ending balance with 100. That is correct. And if you did this correctly, that is exactly what we have left over. We have $100. We have 100 units left over. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate our sale for the 27th of May. So 527. Okay, so we already recognize that we need to get a total of 740, okay? So in this case, we already know that if we combine the two, we have plenty, okay? So our blue batch, how much do we have?
190.
190. So how much are we going to be taking out of the orange batch to get to 740?
Oh, this is 190 is the blue.
190 is the blue. So how much of the orange batch are we going to be taking out of?
160.
740 minus 190
Mm-hmm.
is 550.
550 is correct, okay? All right, there's our calculation. So again, just by looking at our blue, we automatically know we're going to get rid of this whole entire thing. So we're going to get rid of the
Yes.
67766 right off the bat. And I'm going to go ahead and eliminate it right now.
Okay.
So I know that at the end of the day, my batch for blue is gone. So I'm going to indicate that right here. That I got rid of this batch right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make sure I zero that out because we no longer have it anymore. It's a sad 0. And there you go. $0, okay? Now we have the third batch remaining. Okay, so now let's go ahead and calculate it. So just by looking at the orange batch, we know that it's going to cost us $3.8269. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and
Yes.
indicate that right here. So 38269. Oopsies, I forgot the decimal. 8269. Okay, so how much did we sell from those 550 items?
I got $2,104.80.
Okay. Can I get a second for that? Perfect. Okay. And if you want to go ahead and calculate the 2004 cents plus the 80. And we're going to add that to the 67766. And what do we get?
$2,782.46.
Yes, that's what I got. Okay, so when we journalize it, this is how much we're going to journalize it for. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go straight across. So now we're going to subtract the 550, leaving us a remainder of 100. And we're going to indicate that this 100 is going to be our orange batch. Okay, boom, orange. Okay. And then we're going to indicate here that we subtract how much? 2104.80 to give us a remaining of how much? So 3487.50. Subtract our 2104.
750 minus 2104.
80.
Yeah, I got $1,382.70.
That is what I got as well. Okay. So once we've done that, right, we're going to go ahead and transfer that over here and indicate that we no longer have 650. We have 100. And it's going to cost me, or at least the remaining amount is still going to be for the 138270. 138270. Okay? And here again, if you're going to keep track of your cost of goods sold, you're just going to have a little title at the bottom here saying total. Okay, and it's going to add up this number, this number, this number, this number, and this number. Okay, that's all you have to do. But in the end of the day, again, we do know how much at the end of each day, how much inventory we have left. Because remember, as we scratched them out, as we eliminate them one at a time, at the end of each day, we're recalculating how much we have in inventory. And at the end of the 27th or whatever, 27, on the end of 27, we know that we have 100 items left and it's going to cost us this much. Okay? So that is how you do the first part of inventory. Okay? All right. Any questions?
And,
Because I'm going to break this up. Go ahead.
what the real difference between this LIFO or LIFO and weighted average? There isn't much difference.
There is no much difference except when you're calculating it here, instead of doing it by green, red, blue, and then orange, it's going to be green. It could be red, green. Then it could be blue, red, green, and then it could be orange and then green. So instead of going from top to bottom, so you see how the order is green, red, blue, and orange, it's going to be opposite now. But because it's by day basis, so when we move on to chapter 8.2, you'll see the difference when we completely go through it. Okay, it's hard to explain on here because remember, every time you make a purchase and every time you make a sale, it's going to recalculate the way everything is going to be. Okay, so again, I will post this answers on the classroom. So then when we're done and we completely do everything, I'm going to pull up these answers and I'm going to show you the difference and why one is like this and why the other isn't like this. Okay? Okay, for this example, we are left with the orange batch, which is the remaining batch. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So please go ahead and take a quick little 10, 20, 15-minute break here and be back by 3:15 so we can get started with the second batch.